Hi, let us start another lesson from the sociology, chapter number first, introduction to the sociology. This is the name of the chapter. So, in this chapter, in this introduction to the sociology, we are supposed to discuss about origin of the subject, that is sociology, and what is the meaning, scope, and important of the sociology. So, these are the important four aspects that we are going to have the discussion at the beginning. Next, after the end of these four topics, then last one, that is a relationship between sociology and other sciences. So these are important that we are going to have the discussion. So let us begin the lesson. Here we go. The first of all, introduction, and before we start the lesson, then a few things we should understand about the human being and society. The life of the human being is a fascinating one and very interesting one. Human beings are also they are different from the other animals, and they are intellectual beings. If we compare the human being and other living beings, especially the animals, birds and all, so that human being life is completely different from other animals. And also the human being, he is an intellectual person. If we compare to the other living being on the earth, human being, he is more talented than other being. Next one, differences between the animals and human beings is apparent in body structures and rate of the growth. Next one, food consumption, creativity, and evolution of the brain. So that on these four or five aspects, there is the differences we can identify. If we identify the body structure between the human being and other living being, so completely different. And in the case of the growth rate of the human being, especially I'm talking about the brain's growth rate, that is much faster than that of the other living being. And in the case of the food consumption also, the human being, he is having his own food system. I mean food habits, we can say. He is to cook the food, then he is to consume it. And in the case of the creativity also, the lot of creativities that human being is doing, those are different from that of the animals beings. So that these are the areas where we can identify, we can spot the differences between animals as well as human being. Next, move on. Human beings are social beings. So this is the important core of the subject, core of this topic. So that how human being is a social being. First of all, the relationship between individual and society are unique. Why? Because there is no society without human being or without individual, and there is no individual without society. Both are interdependent, we can say. So that what they are saying, so that man cannot be expected to live without society. So that man always like to live in the society with other human being, and we cannot expect human being without society. And at the same time, when society cannot be expected without individual, without human being, we can say. So that when man start to live in a particular area, then that lead to the creation of the society. And and we cannot expect society without human being. So that both, that is society as well as human being, both are interdependent on each other. And human being, he always longs to live with other human beings, so that he cannot live alone, he cannot live in a forest and all. Obviously he need other fellow to live with. Because of that reason, we can say that he cannot live without other human being, he like to live with other human being. And social being is a necessary for well-being and the growth of the person, we can say. So that if you want a person to be growth and develop, then society is very very important, and living with other people is also very important. Hence the society, human society, is called as a web of social relationship. So why they are calling it as a web of the social relationship? Why? Because he is the person who is to live with a other human being. So he do not want to live without other, means he do not want to live in isolation, so that he cannot live. And his interest, his needs are multiple in number. So that in order to meet the needs of the human being, he has to live with other people, so that he can meet his interest. So this is the picture, very clearly you can understand. So that here individual, so that individual, he is to live in a family. And family, number of the families, we can say, that leads to the creation of the society. So that if you want to meet the needs of the human being, first of all he has to live with a family, and family is also having its own need. To meet the needs of the family, that family has to live with the society. So we can say that the society cannot be expected without individual, and individual cannot be expected without society. Both are interdependent on each other. Next one, means of the sociology. And I mean meaning of the sociology, the definition that let us to understand. So first of all, the word sociology, this is a word which has originated from the two words, that is socius from the Latin language and logos of the Greek language. We can say the sociology, it is a word which has been made up of two languages. First of all, they are saying Latin language and Greek word. So that from these Latin and Greek word, then one word, that is sociology, has been originated. So what they are saying, from two words. First of all, socius, next one, and logos. And these two words are taken from or derived from the different languages. First socius, it has been taken from the Latin language, and logos, that is Greek. Now let us understand what is meant by this socius. Socius means companion and logos means study. Thus we can say the sociology is a science of human society. Science of human society means obviously this sociology, it is a science which will study about the human society. Whatever the social activities that man is doing, so those are studied in a subject that is called sociology. And a definition has been given here by the famous sociologist, that is a Max Weber. Today also the sociology is very important. Why? Because this sociology was developed by the Max Weber. Now let's understand what the Max Weber, sociologist, famous one of the sociologists, has said about the sociology. Definition of the sociology, the very simple one. Sociology is a study of the social behavior of the man, we can say. So that whatever the man is doing work, especially related to social, so those are studied by the subject that is called sociology. So these are very simple to understand. Now let us move on. The origin of the sociology, how the sociology has originated over a period of time. So when it was originated, that let us understand. The first of all, the sociology, it was studied means so beginning of the sociology as an independent and separate field of the science was during the middle of the 19th century. So middle of the 19th century means we can say the sociology, it started to originate as an independent science or independent subject in the 1850s decade, we can say. So this is the era in which that sociology started to be studied as separate from as a field of the science, we can say. And why this sociology was originated, and remember here, after the origin of the sociology, other social sciences, remember, that is history, political science, geography, psychology, economics. So these were originated a later period, we can say, that is 18th and 19th century, we can say. And we can say then sociology, it was originated in the middle of the 19th century, and obviously sociology is one of the social sciences, we can say, one of the subject of the social science. So that social science means here we can study so many subjects like economics, we can study political science, we can study next one, history, we can study economics, geography. So these are the business study also, we can say. So these are the important subjects which are studied in the sociology, and among these the sociology is also studied. And they are saying this sociology was originated in the middle of the 19th century, that is 1815 onwards, we can say. And now let us understand why or what are the main reason this sociology was originated in the middle of the 19th century. First of all, the industrial revolution, one word is missing here, so industrial revolution, it should be mentioned. So industrial revolution is the main cause. Next one, French Revolution, and this French Revolution, it occurred in the year 1789, we can say 78, very easy to remember, 789 in serial number. So 1789, this is the year in which that French Revolution took place, and social and religious reforms also, they started to take place in the world, especially in the European countries, and social religious reforms took place in the Italy and some other countries of the European continent. So that these are the main causes for making this sociology as a separate subject. Now let us move on. So that sociology scope, so what things are studied in the sociology, how it was studied. The first of all, it means sociology, it studies about the human society. so that how human being is living and what are the problems that human being is having and what are the social problems like poverty, illiteracy and hungerness, malnutrition. So that there are many more social problems, and these are studied by the subject that is called sociology. Human society means what people are living, how they are living, what process is being followed. So what is mean in society? Obviously family is the main core aspect we can say, and what is mean by family and what are important of the family, then functions that family is doing, society, what are the functions that society is doing. So that completely thorough study is made in the sociology about the human society. Next one, sociology also studies about the human social life, how the social life is being led by human being, social relationship and social institutions and social process. These are important aspect that has been that can be studied in the sociology. And social relationship means how the relationship is there between individual and family, and individual and family we can say. Next one, how the relationship is there between the individual and society, so that what kind of the problems are there and how the social problems are occurring in the family, so that why there is a differences between the family members. So and certain problems are taking place, like even terrorism we can say, that is also social problem. Poverty, it is a social problem. So these are studied in a subject that is called sociology. Now let us understand, so that sociology also studied about the social institutions. Social institutions means, remember, that is family is a social institution and society itself is an institution. So these are things which are studied in sociology. So we can say these are the important aspect where which are studied in the sociology. Now move on to another aspect, nature of the sociology subject. So that how the sociology is studied, what are studied. The sociology, it is nature of the sociology. See that sociology, it is a social science and not physical science, they are saying. So that in the case of the sociology, the first of all, the sociology belongs to the group of the social sciences. Already we know that in the group of the social science, so that history, economics, political science, geography, so that business study, so many aspects are studied and so many subjects are studied in the sociology, I mean social science. Among them, this sociology is also one of them we can say. Next one, it's not group of the physical science we can say. Obviously they are saying sociology is like a science, it is a social science and it's not a physical science. Whatever the physical science subject that you people used to study, the sociology doesn't come there. Sociology is a part of the social science like history, political science, economics, geography, so many things we can say. And sociology is a pure science and not an applied science. This is very clear. Sociology, what they are saying, sociology, it will study about the human society as it is. It never engage in how it should be, and it doesn't engage in a valued judgment. It aims only objective of the study, and sociology remains as a neutral in the value based aspect. So that what they are saying, the sociology, it is a pure science, so that it will study how the society as it is. It will never say that society should be like this and all. It will study the sociology as it is, society as it is, so that it never give any solution, means suggestion. It aims an objective study only, not subjective. Objective, subjective, both are different. Next one, sociology, it is a definitive study, not a directive study, they are saying. So that here sociology, it is general science we can say. It is a definitive means it will study the subject in a definite way. It's not an sociology, it's like an objective, not a subjective. So this is they are saying. And social science is not a special science, they are saying. So it is only the general science we can say. So that among all the social science, already as you know that sociology, history, economics, science, I mean geography, business study, our sociology only studied the general interaction individual human being, like religion, politics, economics, even moral, intellectual aspect of the society, and it has a wider scope than other social sciences. So whatever the scope that other social science are having, like history, political science and all, the sociology is having the wider scope means it will study more and more, especially when it can study the religion, even a politics, economy, moral. So many things are studied in a subject that is called sociology. Next one, now let us understand importance of the sociology, how the sociology is important, why we have to study the sociology, what is the importance of it. Let us understand. It studies the human society scientifically. So whatever the sociology, I mean society is there where the human being is living, that is only the place human being can survive or he can feel comfortable or his needs can be met. So that society is studied by sociology in a systematic and scientific way, and what problems that society is having, those are studied, and you can understand the problems that society is having and you can solve them. So that if you want to solve the problems of the society, then knowledge of the sociology is very very important. Next one, it supplements the personality development. So that if you want if you want to take your development to the high level, then the knowledge of the sociology is very very important. So that unless until you have the knowledge, especially the social being who is often expected to get subjugated to the changing the nature of the society, so that knowledge of the sociology is very very important. By creating the historic understanding the structure, growth, changes and individual responsibility, sociology facilitate the holistic personality development, so that it will give the good platform for the human being so that he can take his personality from one state to another stage. So that the understanding of the sociology is very very important in a I mean for an individual. And next one, understanding the social process, how the social process is carried in the society. So that if you want to understand it, then the knowledge of the sociology is very very important. And sociology, it always give aid to the proper understanding of the social process by studying the religion, tradition, culture, social rules, regulation, values and ideas of other various societies. So that these aspects of the society is studied in the sociology. And sociology, it is very much helpful in understanding the interrelationship between the various institutions, means individuals, and what interaction is going on between the society and individual, and what interaction is going on between the members of the family. And so that so many process is studied in a subject that is called sociology. So that if you want to take your social life to the very much comfortable, then understanding of the sociology is very very important. So because that is now we are all studying sociology as a separate subject in the one of the I mean in social science. Next one, sociology, it it supports the effective implementation of the developmental programs, what they are saying. So whatever the developmental programs are there that government of Karnataka, government of India, that they are implementing, no, to understand them, then sociology is very very important. Suppose now poverty alleviation programs are there, Narega programs are there, and women self-help groups are also created, and many more the organizations in the society, they are developed especially for the development of the child, women and workers, and means SC, ST people, and other backward people. So that to develop these things, then many more programs are being implemented by the both government, that is central government as well as state government. And how these programs can be implemented effectively, how we can make the people access to the program. So that if you want to understand these aspects, then knowledge of the sociology is very very important. So that the sociology plays very very important role if you want to take your society to the high level, and so many aspects we can study. And remember, there are various aspects that we can go on studying, especially so that so many problems are there, like we can say the communal classes and the crimes are happening, alcoholism, like drinking alcohol and all, hunger, it is a problem that we are having, malnutrition, obviously this is a social problem, caste based discrimination, partiality between one caste and another caste, and unemployment, lot of people are not getting the work, and gambling, prostitution, child labor, inequality, and various other problems that are present in the society. So that to remove the problems, to understand these problems, then knowledge of the sociology is very very important. Next one, unless until you have knowledge of the sociology, then you cannot understand the social problems, like poverty. So far now I listed, so that what solution we can get for these, so that so many things that we can understand, we can study the social problems, and we can get the solution for them, and we can take our society to the comfortable zone. So that if you want to take the sociology, your social life to the comfortable zone, the knowledge of the sociology is very very important. One should have the knowledge. And remember here, nowadays then many more bureaucrats like IAS and IPS officer, so that they are opting the sociology as an optional subject, because first of all, after getting appointed, they have to serve the society. So that if you want to serve the society, then knowledge of the sociology is very very important. If you get the knowledge of the sociology at the beginning, before you are got appointed as a district commissioner, tahsildar and all, so that after getting, then you can do your job very nicely and effectively, because you got the knowledge of the sociology. So with this, I would like to end today's class. Thank you.